See, I like the warmth of people here in Goa that I don't always feel in Portugal, I can tell. And I can give you hundreds of examples of it. I like the way people, whatever problem you have, they're always there to help you out.
Yes.
Always there to help you out. And you don't have to know the other person, okay? You will help because, I don't know, it is in you. You immediately help. And that is something that I cannot find in Portugal. Okay, so that warmth and the way we care for each other, for me, is what I love.
May that always remain. May that always remain.
Absolutely. Welcome to Susegaad Musings, the brand new talk show that's all about the sun-kissed, beautiful state of Goa. Co-hosted by Amit Chopra and myself, Ryan Lobo, we talk about the real Goa by speaking to people who call Goa their home.
1545, there was this King John III of Portugal who started these parochial schools in Goa.
Okay.
And because of that, later on, right, the Goans were able to write these songs, the Mando, the whatever we are talking about, Dekni, and that's why when they went to Bombay, they were so popular because you can give them any notation, they could read it, sight read it like nothing.
And the other Indian musicians,
they couldn't write, it's by ear. They know music by ear.
The 8th episode of Susegaad Musings features Nalini de Souza. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right in the Portuguese accent, but Nalini is a filmmaker and Portuguese return. Nalini shares how the land of Goa drew her back and now how she makes films about Goa and Asia for Portuguese television channels. We prefer to have Nalini share about it like only she can. So let's get straight into this episode of Susegaad Musings. So welcome to a brand new episode. We have Nalini with us. Nalini, thank you so much. I called you this morning not knowing that whether you'd be in Goa or not because you travel so often. And I found out that you come back to Goa from Portugal 3 days ago.
Yes.
And today I'm right in the afternoon you're here. So thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
Most welcome.
And that too on such a short notice.
Yeah. So Nalini, you have a very interesting story. You are actually a Goan who was born and brought up in Portugal. And Goa and Portugal is very highly associated. Yet you returned back to Goa and now you do so many things. You're a documentary filmmaker. You teach Portuguese language. You are pursuing a master's in Cantare. You know, we have so many things to talk about here. So thank you for coming and tell us a little bit about your story. How did your parents move to Portugal? I mean, nowadays Goans are still trying to move to Portugal. What's happened? Can you share a little bit of your roots?
Sure. First of all, thank you so much. And just now you gave me an answer. Sometimes people ask me, are you Goan or Portuguese? I like this definition. A Goan born in Portugal. I love this.
Oh, wow.
I will start using this from now onwards. Yeah.
Okay, great.
So, my roots. So, my parents moved to Portugal before 1961. My mother is from Sinquerim, my father is from Aldona. They went there to study. I think they knew each other, the families knew each other, but not really friends. But they met there, they got married there. I was born later on in 73. I have also a brother, but my brother is there in Portugal, and I'm here because when we were children, we used to come, every 2 years used to come to Goa to see my grandparents. Okay, and after they died, my parents kind of lost their interest in coming back to Goa. But then I decided I will do it. So since I was 17, I started coming to Goa regularly. So what I used to do is I used to go to Kalangut market, buy all these bags and jewelries, by August. Then in December, I used to sell all triple the price.
In Portugal?
Yeah, and make money to come to Goa.
That's a good way. That's a good way.
You know, Amit, my history is not very, my dates and all are not very good. But when her parents moved to Goa, were the Portuguese here or?
Moved to Portugal.
They were.
Yeah.
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 So it was Portuguese time in Goa.
Goa was
we
Yeah,
had
yeah,
not
yeah.
gotten
Till
Goa was
1961, right? Till
Yeah.
19 December
62, I
1960
think.
61. 19
61.
December
Yes,
61
61.
was the integration of Goa in India.
India.
So my parents study in Portuguese. Okay, so for those who opt for Portuguese, there was no higher studies in Goa.
Wait, hold on. I didn't get you. Did they go to Portugal
Because they
before-
had to continue their higher studies in Portuguese.
because Goa had been liberated by then.
No, before, I'm talking about
understand.
61.
What
Yeah,
she's
please
talking
explain.
is, education had two options.
Yes.
And more of the higher education options in Portuguese, for those who took up studies in Portuguese, was not available in Goa at that
Okay.
time. So you had to go to Portugal to pursue higher studies in
So I'm talking
Portuguese.
about 1961.
So if you wanted to study in Portuguese language per se, the only avenue for us is to go to Portugal and continue your higher
But
studies.
when did Goa get its liberation?
19 December
1960
1961.
Oh, in the same year. Okay.
Yeah, but they went before. They went in the 50s.
They went in the
In the 50s.
Okay.
They went in the 50s to
Alright.
study. Actually, my father was quite interesting because he used to wear a Nehru cap.
what
and used
cap?
to
A Nehru cap. Okay.
cap, and he used to go to all these forbidden meetings, and he was once caught by the police. And then, but my grandfather in Aldona was quite well known because he was a doctor, and they went to him and said, if you want your son not to get in trouble again, please send him to Portugal. And that's how my father went in the 50s to Portugal to study medicine.
Yeah. Because that's
So
the time
he was
that
kind
there
of invited to leave.
Yeah, please leave. We don't want this trouble here anymore.
Don't
But
come
I think
here
that's
with
when
your
the
story.
whole talk of liberating Goa
Yes,
was happening.
Yeah.
Amazing.
From the 50s till 1961, there was a lot of turbulence, and my father was involved in all of this. My mother, no. My mother studied in Portuguese all the way through the 12th standard. And my grandfather also had studied in Portugal, so she said, you go to Portugal and study, continue your studies there.
So after their studies, they decided to settle in Portugal.
Yeah, they decided to settle in Portugal, and that's how I was born and brought up there.
Nice. So we are asking everyone, how is it like to grow up in Goa? We can ask you, how is it like to grow up in Portugal?
Yeah, that'll be an interesting perspective. Tell us about Portugal. Your early days in Portugal. You must have studied there, right?
Yeah, so I studied there, 12th standard, then I did my BSc in chemistry in Portugal. I can tell you it was not always easy because I never felt like a Portuguese because of my color of my skin.
There was discrimination.
There was because also we have to remember that after 1961 the war in Angola and Mozambique started in the African colonies of Mozambique, Angola, Cape Verde, and in 1975 when they were liberated, when they became independent, all those started, the ones who didn't want to stay in the country, in Mozambique and Angola especially, they came to Portugal. Okay, so I think it was not easy for the Portuguese to accept
migrants into them because
yes.
suddenly a lot of influx of people happened into a place which had low density, low populations to get on with
and that was the time when I started going to school.
And those were hard times also.
Yeah, so it was not easy at all. And plus, I have the name Nalini.
Yeah.
Now, can you imagine? No one could say my name. Nalini, Nani, something.
I guess they would have called you Nani or something of that
I mean,
sort.
they could never ever get my name.
Oh, yeah?
Nalini.
Never, ever. Till the first soap opera in Portugal, this I'm talking in 2015-16, was recorded, it was filmed here in Goa.
Okay.
And they decided to call a character Nalini. The next year when I went to Portugal, everybody knew
could
my
speak
name. Nalini, like that, in that Sikh, no? Sikh is the name of the television station, and everybody knew Nalini. But till then, it was quite
so till
hard
2015,
time.
oh my God, since 1973 to 2015, waiting for people to pronounce it
My name
correctly.
properly.
It's a long wait.
Can you share
Interesting.
some of the instances growing up in Portugal? You said it was not easy. Can you talk about those times?
Well, I can tell you that my friends in primary school, I can never forget them, was a South African,
Okay.
an Indian from Gujarat,
Uh-huh.
Okay.
and one girl from like a very, very poor background. So they were my like three friends. We were always
Close friends.
So one
Yeah.
was it a white South African?
no black South African.
Black South African. One was a Gujarati.
Was a Gujarati.
From?
With her, I started watching Indian movies.
Oh yeah.
Bollywood. I couldn't understand anything, but she used to show me. I couldn't really relate to it, but yeah, she used to have lots of these DVDs. Those times there were DVDs.
Okay.
With
And
Interesting.
had they?
This is
Had,
interesting,
I'm
sorry.
guessing maybe they moved from Diu, Daman Diu. Was that the case? Do you know where they moved from?
I
No
wouldn't,
idea.
I can't remember
Yeah,
now.
it's too young to remember.
Yeah,
Anyway.
her name was Safira. I
And
remember.
then what made you come back to Goa? What made you,
So-
return?
So during those trips that we used to do to be with my grandparents, I always felt Goa as my home. And I know it looks very romantic to say, oh, yeah. You come for holidays, obviously you feel like it's your home. But then I made it a point I thought when maybe when I start working, I will come and live in Goa.
Goa.
In one of those trips, I came to Goa. I was telling you I used to sell things and then come to Goa. I was 22. I was with my grandmother. She was still there, and she fell from the bed and she broke a femur.
Mhm.
And we had to go to the hospital, and there was no one to be with her during that holiday with her. So my whole holidays were spent in the hospital.
Looking after her.
Looking after her. Kamat Hospital in Miramar. And that is where I met my husband.
Mm.
And then, love also
love,
makes
romance,
its
yes.
miracles. I did take 3 more years to decide coming to Goa, but then I said, no, that's it, I'm coming.
Superb.
Oh yeah.
Superb.
Wow.
So both things-
Love brought you back.
Love brought me back. Yeah,
Lovely.
this was in 1998. So this year it will be 25 years. in
Oh,
June.
wow.
Yeah,
25 years of being in Goa.
25 years.
Wow.
I'll be 50, so it will be 25 years in Portugal, 25 years in Goa.
Wow.
Oh,
I'm right in
wow.
the
The halfway
Middle,
mark.
halfway mark.
halfway mark. Halfway
So,
mark.
how was it? How have these 25 years been?
Well, I have to say the first 6 months were not easy, right? Because my English was also not that good. Konkani non-existent. So I used to communicate in Portuguese with my husband. His Portuguese was also not that great. But then slowly, I don't know, I just, I started studying, I did Portuguese literature in Goa University. Then I did my master's through Open University of Lisbon. And then I started working. I had a shop called Anau. I don't know if you've ever been there. Okay. It is opposite, it was opposite Tatos in Penjim. So for 8 years, I used to sell things, food from Portugal, wine, Portuguese wine, olives, bacalhau. I don't know if you know what bacalhau is, cod
Yeah, I
fish. I don't know. So many things I used to sell. Then I got fed up of customs.
Uh-huh.
They are terrible, terrible. So I always say when
Was
I
it
meet
where
them,
that Costa's shop is right
yeah.
now?
After me came Costas.
Costas.
Yeah.
I understood that.
So I always tell this customer when I meet them, I said, all my white hair is
You.
the trouble you gave me. And anyway, I didn't want to continue my life only selling bacalhau and wine. And I always thought one day my grandchildren would ask me, what did you do in life? I sold bacalhau and wine. And it sounded good, yeah. So that I gave up. I gave up on that.
Mhm.
Then I started teaching Portuguese. I started an NGO called Comunicare Trust, where I teach Portuguese. We do theater with children. I have a food bank and a lot of other activities.
Wow.
And then I started my production company, Lotus Film and TV Production, because Portugal wanted a program which could portray the presence of Portuguese in
its
presence
former
of Portugal,
colonies,
in Goa. So they suggested my name the consul suggested my name. His name was Pedro Adão, and said, "You do it."
Hmm.
And I look at Pedro and said, "What do I know about shooting? Zero." He said, "You will learn it. I know you will learn it." And that is how I started. So I have 72 episodes called Contato Goa,
Wow.
where I spoke about, you name it, I don't know, about food, about clothing, about there's an episode dedicated to opinion poll, obviously to the integration of Goa in India, about Fado also.
Wow.
Mando and Dekni, I don't know. Everything is in this city called Contato Goa.
Wow, she probably know more than all of us combined.
No.
Because
It's
of the
a learning
amount
process. I'm still learning.
Yes.
I'm still
And
learning.
you're enriching us also. Because we are also learning as we meet people, we talk to them. A lot of the learnings come back. So, 25 years in Goa, and you are currently doing a documentary on, I think, one of the Goa's art forms.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, what is it about?
So recently, I thought I should take a break. I call this a break, and decided to do this second masters.
What was your first master's?
The first masters was in Portuguese literature.
Okay.
Okay, through Open University of Lisbon, and this is my second in a subject that is not very well known, called ethnomusicology.
Okay.
Okay.
Ethnomusicology.
Yes. So in Portugal, in the north of Portugal, and I'm part of a big project called Liber Sound project, and what they are trying to do is connect the archives of All in the Radio with Mozambique,
Okay.
with Portugal,
Wow.
and Goa, these 4 archives, and try to find out how they are connected through music,
Okay.
through the records, what we call the shellac records, which were there from the beginning of 20th century till in Goa, I think till 1969, 1970. Then vinyl came and
Other things.
CDs, cassettes, etc., etc. So my first task was to classify these records, which are there in All in the Radio. There are 447, and what I realized is they all cantara, which is these songs which divide the scenes in a theatre.
Yes.
Okay, so usually theatre has 6-7 pordes, right? And between each of these pordos there is a cantara. And I found it very interesting because when I was growing up in Portugal, I used to be part of an association called Casa de Goa, and in that we used to sing mando and dekni and fugri, but I never heard about cantara.
Okay.
And then suddenly, so many of them are there.
So
Cantara.
in the
So I'm
archives in
studying
here,
that.
so most of the songs you said are cantara.
Cantara, yes.
Why?
Why?
Okay, first of all, if I may ask,
Yes.
can you tell us, for those who do not know, what is theatre, what is mando, what is dekni, what is kanta? Let's start off with there.
What is a fado? What is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's say maybe what's theatre.
Okay. What's theatre? So theatre, in English we can say is Goan theatre.
Okay.
Right? It's a form of Goan theatre, which started in this. I mean, it has an influence of many other theatre forms, but it is at least the Theatre Academy of Goa considers that theatre, this theatre form, started in Bombay in 1892. Okay, and the first theatre is
1892.
called
Okay.
yeah, it's called Italian Burgo, means Italian boy.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know this or not, but João Agostinho and Lucasinho Ribeiro, they came together. They used to work in the Lucasinho Ribeiro used to work for a Italian opera. Okay, in the backstage, and they had a lot of operas there in India. But then when they wanted to move outside India, Lucasinho Ribeiro said, "No, I'm staying back. But I will buy your costumes if you're not using them, and if you moving. I will buy your costumes. And he bought it. And with that, and based on that Italian opera, he staged Italian Borgo. Okay? And from there, it's how Theatre Academy started the theatre.
Theatre
very
movement
interesting.
Not in Goa, but in Bombay.
Bombay.
Goan theatre started in Bombay, not in Goa.
And was brought back to Goa,
And then later
incorporated, and has become a more earthy form of expression of theatre.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And it's a unique form. It's
It is
quite a unique form.
Yes.
Yes. More, I think, led by amateur, this thing rather than professional actors.
Yes. Yes.
Right? People who are pursuing other professions but do it as a passion.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So,
Informal.
informal.
But the beauty of it is that it can reach to masses.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Maybe other types of theatre, imagine in
Are
Spanish
more for
or in
class
Italian
or-
or in Portuguese, will never be able to reach to the masses.
Why do you
The
say
way-
that? I mean, please explain. Why can a theatre reach masses and say an Italian theatre not reach masses?
Because
Maybe I'm asking out of ignorance, but I think many people would ask such a question.
yeah, I think first of all the theme of the theatre, it's always about the people, about their fears, about family, which for Goans is very important. Okay, love, forbidden love, and then there are jokes in between. Okay,
Okay.
that elite might not feel.
That connected.
Okay, so it was
Yeah.
for the masses, not for the elites.
I'll also just try to, just tell you an example. You've lived in Bombay, so you might understand this. Marathi theatre is very evolved, but the people who go to watch Marathi theatre are more of the elite class or the learned class who goes there.
Okay.
And then there is the Nach, which connects with the Nautanki, which they call. Na? Is more connected with the normal
masses,
local
yeah.
people who go to watch it. So I think that is where it derives.
Okay.
So theatre, of course, has evolved over times, but as she said, the themes are local, right?
Very local.
So very local issues, local things that are playing on people's minds. So the artists pick on it and create a drama around it and try to perform some things. There are social messages, and the kantara that I
And
wanted
the
to
music
I wanted
is
to
very
ask you
important.
specifically about it. Kantaras are considered side shows, right?
Yes.
You were
Kantara.
mentioning it
Yes.
just a little while
Yes.
back.
Yeah.
So what is different about a kantara than what a mando is, what a pado is, what a dekni is, and what is a dekni? What is a mando? Just for the sake that many people might want to understand what it is. So please elaborate on that.
So mando and dekni are usually more connected to the elite,
Yes.
while the kantara are connected to the the lower non-elite.
The classes.
Yeah.
No,
yes.
sorry, the masses.
The masses. Yes.
Not one is for the classes and one is for the
Yeah.
masses.
So the mando, first of all, it was never on stage. Okay.
Yes.
Till the Mando festival started,
Yes.
it used to be performed inside the houses.
Yes.
Okay. Even the way they dressed is very, very formal.
Formal.
Right?
Yes.
The themes is about love, most of the times about love, about loneliness,
Yes.
right? There are few political mandalas, but very
few.
very few. But there are not that there isn't, but there are a few of them. And the dekni is usually the story is about the one I know. I used to dance in Portugal. Is about this bailadeira. So these women who used to work in the temples, who used to go there to dance for the feast, and she wants to cross the river.
Yes.
And
that is the most famous dekni.
Yeah. So she wants to cross it, and the boatman is trying to say, okay, if you cross, what will you give me? And I will give my paisona, from my
money,
feet, I'll give you
this
money,
and
I'll give you my earrings. And then in the end, the boatman will take her to the other side of the river. So the dekni usually are connected to these dances, to the bailadeiras. The one I know, the deknis I know. So while the kantara, no, the kantara they crack jokes. They talk about social issues. So whatever used to happen in Bombay, okay, during that time, they used to put it in this Kantara.
Okay.
Okay, so there are a lot of social messages in Kantara. I know there's one of the themes that is always there present is about the Goans who have migrated to that time. After that, they went to Africa or to the Middle East, and they used to say, "You go there, it's fine. You make money, it's fine. But when you come back, don't start coming in speaking in English and in Arab and all. Don't forget your mother tongue is Konkani." And I think they had quite a important role during the opinion poll and when we were trying to... The Kantara, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The Kantara still has got a very powerful punch when it comes to messaging and giving a message to the politicians in Goa. I've seen during elections and things, Kantaras slightly become a little political, try to resonate with the pulse of the people. You know, that this is what we are thinking, this is what the politicians are not doing, or lamenting about our politicians or things of that sort. Kantara is more of that, current affairs, popular opinions and messaging to people. And some of them are okay, some of them are quite good, some of them are made a good name. I think you have connected with quite a few of them. Can you just mention a couple of them maybe, or a person?
Presently I'm working with Francis de Touin.
Oh wow!
And is coming up with a new Kantara on this Made issue.
Okay.
And I also find it very interesting is the way it reached outside Goa, right? Because of this new technology with the YouTube, Facebook, etc. Yes. I realized that our Kantara can go much beyond. So it can reach to Goans in Australia, in Europe, in US. And this is an amazing, outreach to
Goans beyond
Goans.
Goa.
And they can find out what is happening in Goa through these songs.
Absolutely.
So what's interesting is when you were in Portugal, you said that you were very aware of the Mandos, the Dekni, the Fado, but you were not very aware of Kantara. However, through all the records you've seen in the All India Radio, most of them are of Kantara.
Yeah.
Can you tell us why that is so interesting?
Yes.
Or?
Well, because I'm part of the elite. So when I went to, my parents obviously were from the elite who went to Portugal. So what they have grew up with was with this Mando and with Dekni. My mother used to dance Dekni. So that is what I learned. I never knew about this Kantara. I never heard about theatre. This was completely out of my vocabulary in Portugal. And only when I came to Goa and I had the chance to see these shellac records in All India Radio, I understood the presence of how strong is the presence of this Kantara and the theatre.
If I may ask, why is it significant that the majority of the records of All India Radio are Kantara and not the Mando
and the Dekni and all? Because the first big mass migration that there was in Goa was during the middle 19th century till the 20th century. So a lot of Goans who wanted to, make money for themselves. They were not really financially sound in Goa. They migrated to Bombay. Okay, there where theatre evolved, where the Kantara came about because it was part of the theatre, and at the same time the Gramophone Company was there, HMV and Columbia. So they had an opportunity to record these songs. So Jacinto Vaz, C. Alves, Alfred Rose, Remy Colas, all of them recorded in HMV, Columbia, and there's another brand called The Twin, less, but most of them are HMV in Columbia. Not the Mando and Dekni, they were here in Goa, right?
Interesting. It's an interesting take and interesting, thing to know.
Yeah. So because of migration, this was possible.
And now you're doing research on the Kantara and you're doing a documentary, I think, on it also.
Yes. So I, through these records of All India Radio and also private collectors like Cecil Pinto, I identified 49 composers of Kantara. Now, in a master's, you don't have that much time to go through 49 composers. So I chose 3, and that is Remy Koolhaas, Jacinto Vaz, and C. Álvares.
Wow.
Maybe if I continue with my research, then I will be able to go through all the other
Superb.
all the other composers.
Superb. So, how has Goa been? What is that in Goa that you have loved so much to continue living here? And you made a statement when we were talking earlier. This is the place I'm going to be, and I'm never going to leave Goa. What makes you say that? I want that so that people can understand where you're coming from. And what is it that people of Goa, people like you, who have enriched Goa so much, what is it about Goa that they love and they continue to, wish that they would continue to, experience and get back?
See, what I feel is, it depends what you want in life.
Yes.
Okay? There will be people who say, I want to go to a country where there's no problems, I have money, I have a house, I have a car, and I don't have to worry about anything. There's social security, if the government will take care of me, the state, That is not what I want in life. I want challenges.
Superb.
Okay?
This is a lovely perspective.
If you don't have challenges in life, it might as well be dead.
Superb.
So the reason you're staying in Goa is because you like it.
Yes.
It's challenging.
Yes, it is challenging, and it's nice, and it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It is good.
I agree.
Okay? That is what makes me wake up in the morning and have a cup of coffee and go for it.
I love that perspective.
Interesting perspective.
So I feel there's so much to do in Goa. I do it through my classes, through my documentaries, through whatever I do. That is what I try to do. And most of what, especially with the documentaries, I'm also trying to show what is the value of Goa outside Goa.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And we have so much value.
Yes,
We are such a small state.
Absolutely. I
Okay.
think one of the smallest states of India.
Yes.
But one of the
is.
most rich, I'm talking, of course, in money point maybe, but I'm talking of in culture, in diversity, in the warmth, in the welcoming nature. I think amazing. Goa has got everything going for it, hasn't it? Some negative aspects are there coming in now. What is one thing that you would like to be preserved about Goa?
About Goa?
Yeah. What you would like preserved about Goa? What is the one thing you would like Goa to retain?
I hope music remains as it is. I love the music,
Yes.
Goan music. I mean, I've always been connected since my childhood, and it's something that it's always with me.
Right.
The music, wherever I go, the Goan music follows me. I can't explain.
You were
Yeah.
mentioning that Mandos were basically love the songs. Deknis were these performances on earlier that people used to dance on, popularized, especially the Dekni, which is most famous.
On Saba Pultari.
Yes, basically it was written, for a crossing by boat from Diwar to the other side. It's interesting piece of history.
Oh, yeah.
Don't ask me how I know it, but yes, it is that, right? And just a question. What about a fado? What is it? What is what are the other expressions of music
Amit,
in
you
Goa?
won't believe it, but when I was in Portugal, I never liked fado. Never, ever I liked fado. And then I came to Goa and I met Sonia Sirsat.
Okay.
And I started loving fado. Until today, I think I like to listen to Sonia, but maybe not so much other fado singers. But I love the way
She sings.
Sonia sings.
She
And maybe
expresses
because she's a Goan and she gives it a different touch to it.
Maybe
that's what
But
I
what
feel
is a fado?
connected.
Basically, I wanted to understand. Like Mando is 90% love ballads. What is a fado?
There are many people who say that Mando and Fado are very much connected in terms of the theme. Okay, because it's also talking about loneliness,
Yes.
about love lost, finding love. It's very much connected to that. We have a word in Portuguese called saudade,
Yes.
which is difficult to
Translate.
I think
To explain to
yearning,
people.
like yearning for something.
Yearning.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that-
And Fado talks about it. There's Mando also talks about it.
okay.
If I may ask, So you're saying it often speaks about loneliness. Now I'm wondering
Not
why
loneliness,
loneliness?
longing.
Longing.
Yeah, but she also said loneliness. Why loneliness? Why this thing?
It's very much connected to migration.
So,
Okay, so the man who goes
has
out-
gone out, woman is here,
And the woman
missing
remains,
him,
missing
missing
him.
his
My
love.
pony flew. Is that
Yeah,
something?
yes, the same thing.
That
yes.
kind of feelings.
Yes, yes.
So
Many times
is it
it's
because
about that.
a lot of the Goan population left Goa and they left
The same-
behind
yeah.
family who were lonely,
Yes.
who were missing them?
The same way, and that is what connects also Portugal and Goa, right? We are always migrating. Portugal also.
Can I-
I think there are more Portuguese outside Portugal than in Portugal.
Oh,
The
yeah?
same thing in Goa, right?
And there's an interesting point. I don't know whether you know this. You know that Goa, specifically Goa's musicians, influenced Bollywood a lot in the earlier times.
Very much.
People like Anthony Gonzalez, songs were written and things were there. But there's another point. I don't know whether you know that S.D. Burman at one time translated one of the Goa's most famous Dekni and turned it into a song, and it was a quite famous song. Mere Sajan hai us paar. That song is the Goan original Dekni. Translated into that, I don't think people know it even.
Yes, I
But,
don't know about it.
It's the original Goan Dekni. I realized it when I started hearing and I understood what Dekni is, and I came to know about this Dekni and what it sings and what it means. And then I thought, where have I? And then, oh my God, S.D. Burman's song. It is the exact same. Mere sajan hai us par. Oh mere majhi le chal par. So telling the boatman, the person I love, he's there. Please take me that side. And he's telling him why should le chal par, le chal par.
What
So
would you give
it's a take on that Goan Dekni. Interesting tidbit.
Wow.
So I don't know whether you've realized it, or probably you should have a look at it and probably research the influence of Goan music on Bollywood. Maybe it might
I
be a
think-
take
That
for
is for
you.
sure.
Na-
Naresh Fernandes
Nalini
has
is-
done it, no?
Yes.
You know Naresh Fernandes?
I know her.
No, please tell us.
But anyway, no, because it's quite interesting. See, everything started with this. We had in Goa, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 1545. There was this King John III
Okay.
of Portugal who started these parochial schools in Goa.
Okay.
Okay,
What are
where-
parochial? What is
so it's a school connected to the church, and
yes.
in that school connected to the church, the children, they were children, used to learn how to sing, okay, to read notation, right? Play the violin. Usually the boys used to play the violin or piano, okay, piano or violin. Those days there were no other instruments, and because of that, later on, right, the Goans were able to write these songs, the mando, the whatever we are talking about, Dekni, even the
meaning
Kantara, and
they were properly educated in notation.
in music.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were not just ear singers.
Yes, not and that's why when they went to Bombay, they were so popular because you can give them any notation, they could read it, read it like nothing. Braj Gonçalves told me about this.
Yeah.
This is an interesting.
He immediately will get a job because he can read it immediately. He also studied in the parochial school.
Oh,
Because
and
parochial school,
the other Indian musicians.
they
were-
couldn't write.
they
It's by
couldn't.
ear.
Ah.
They know music by ear.
So they couldn't read, and that's how orchestras and those started being led by Goan artists. And okay, this is an interesting thing to know.
And I'll tell you another thing. Now, my last documentary, The Club, is about Goans who migrated to Tanzania.
Okay.
Okay, first to Zanzibar because there was no port in Tanzania. Later on to Tanzania, and all the Goan, all the bands there for parties in the hotels were all Goans.
Oh, wow.
Okay, they're all Goans
Wow.
because they knew music.
Interesting.
I never
And
knew
these
that.
Africans also love music, huh?
Yes.
Africans love music. I think that's a connection between Goa and Africa in this manner also. Music. Music is, I think, every Goan has got music in his soul.
Yes.
They might not be even dancers, they might not be people who can sing, but they love music.
Mm-hmm.
True. So when you said music gets preserved, I know where you're coming from. Thanks for this perspective. One more thing I would want to ask you. One point of a person who's been brought up abroad, right? who shifted here after living almost most of the youth there, and then suddenly coming here. Was it easy to assimilate? How was Goa welcoming towards you, or how did you find living in Goa?
At home.
So this is what made Goa for you the place you want to forever stay, because you felt at home here, right? This is what I wanted.
You know, I'd like to...
Same here with me also. I felt that I'm at home when I came back here after 30, when I was 34. So I was 33 or 34, I think, when I came back here after almost a gap of 30 years. And when I stepped into Goa, I felt I'm back home. So that is the feeling that I also had. Thank you for putting it out. Ryan, why did you come back? You were born and brought up in Bombay. You're Goan.
Yeah.
And you came and now you're living here for so many years. Again, I think
the nature of Goa, you know, like I used to spend my childhood with my grandparents, very secluded spot in Seolim. The nature, the freedom, I think probably the lack of people also. I didn't want to interact with too many people. So I was very fortunate that I got married to a Goan girl and decided to come back to Goa. And I've always wanted to live in Goa. And I didn't understand possibly, you know, the differences in terms of the kind of opportunities available. But Goa has so many opportunities nowadays. And I wanted to ask you this. There are a lot of Goans moving abroad. Even some quite successful senior people are considering to getting a Portuguese citizenship, moving abroad to Portugal. Now you are someone who's lived in Portugal half your life and now living in Goa half your life. What advice or what perspective would you like to share about, you know, Goans moving abroad, leaving Goa, going to maybe Portugal or England or any other place? What is your take on it?
My romantic take?
You're romantic and you're...
My
okay,
romantic
let's
take
take two of your takes. You're romantic and you're practical.
We need these people here.
We need
we
them.
need.
Yeah.
But Ryan, I will just interject and say one thing. She said it before. Migration, we are all about migration.
Right.
Incoming, outgoing. I think Goa has been accepting of migration. Most of the Kunbis probably are the original Goans, but they also were not from Goa originally. They were tribe from other places which came in here. Then others came in, they enriched Goa. So anybody who is welcome in Goa, who enriches, people go out and then they come back. Her parents went back and she came in.
Yes.
Right? So
my,
I think
my children
cross
went
migration
out.
keep on happening.
Yes.
I think
What is origin after all?
Yes.
What is to say?
So
I'm
who knows where we
the
are
origin,
from? So
yes.
nowadays the scientists say we are from Africa. Some
Yes.
say we are from Lemuria, Lemur, which was some called it Gondwana, some call it some other thing, a continent that was between the Indian subcontinent and African subcontinent. They say people actually originated there, went to Africa. They say no, we originated from Africa. Wherever we have originated from, we have been migrants all the life.
I agree with that, but okay, I'm going to ask you your two takes. One is your romantic take, right? And your practical take. Tell us. Because I think it's a very important topic to talk about.
See, in practical terms, see my life. My parents went to Portugal. I came here. My children now in Portugal, studying, both. I cannot tell them, oh, you have to come to Goa, right? Who am I to tell them you have to come to
We'll
Goa?
take the decisions. Yes, agree with you. Yes. So one more thing on this aspect only. You found it easy to come back to Goa, being having the roots out here, or family here, coming down for holidays. I think you also had the same commonality, right? Ryan, coming from holidays, remembering Goa. How do you miss Portugal?
No, not really. I just came back. No.
What about you?
But,
You miss
but I
Bombay?
don't.
I miss the friends and the
Friends, yes,
friends,
maybe.
but
Yes.
The
That
schooling,
is true,
the
right?
friends.
Friends that you cannot change.
Because
right?
childhood-
You make new friends, but those friends that we have from
no,
our
but also I feel
childhood,
like
they
the
always-
people of Bombay are different compared to Goa in terms of socialization, things like that. So maybe those aspects, maybe I miss the Bombay side of me where I want to socialize more, hang out. I think in Goa that happens less. It's my impression at least.
I don't think so, but I think we have that closer, friend circles where continue to meet and I think over a period of time you'll also develop it. I have so many friends here. Of course, we don't socialize that much, and I'm more of a
Busybody.
bookworm. I love reading
Oh,
my
okay.
book, having my fanny, and people find it funny because I love having fanny. So
Mhm.
I'll just sit with a drink of fanny. You give me a top single malt and a fanny, and I'll choose the fanny over it any day.
Mm.
So a book, a fanny. I love going for drives, meeting new people, and somehow I feel that in Goa we get to meet so many people, assimilate so much good from people that it's an amazing chance.
Yeah.
People like you who have such a wide experience of meeting people, the talk shows that you did, the documentaries that you have done, one take of Goa that you love. I want you to share that.
That's a difficult question,
then
Amit.
as
One
many
thing-
things. Okay, then forget the one take. The takes of Goa that you would love to share.
See, I like the warmth of people here in Goa that I don't always feel in Portugal, I can tell. And I can give you hundreds of examples of it. I like the way people, whatever problem you have, they're always there to help you out.
Yes.
Always
Yes,
there to
yes,
help you
yes.
out. And you don't have to know the other person, okay? You will help because, I don't know, it is in you. You
Yes.
immediately help. And that is something that I cannot find in Portugal.
Okay.
Okay, so that warmth and the way we care for each other, for me, is what I love in
May that
in Goa.
always remain. May that always remain.
Absolutely.
That is probably for me the one thing that I want preserved in Goa, which I keep on telling you, Ryan. I wish the warmth and welcoming nature of Goa remains. And whoever comes here, whoever migrates into Goa, has to learn to assimilate that. You know, become one with Goa.
Yep.
Rather than impose their own what. Of course, you bring your some varieties and culture into us and enrich Goa. But basically, you have to assimilate and not impose your things on others. That is the way migration should be, and Goa has been warm and welcoming. Over a
Always.
period of time, we have seen certain changes happening, but basically, I think Goa has remained the same.
Yeah.
People of Goa have remained the same. Let's not talk of geographics or the beach belts and what is happening there. Let's not get there. But
And-
generally,
yeah.
people of Goa.
And I feel people still have time for each other, which
Yes.
you don't find
Yes.
it in other places.
Yes.
Okay, you have to
Agree.
make an appointment for the next week
Oh,
to
yeah?
meet in Portugal. Even with my friends, okay, let's make an appointment. Then they, no, after
You'll
all, I
probably
did-
here drop
Yeah,
in
no.
or just call and say, I'm coming to your
Yeah,
place. And people love,
exactly.
welcome you on that. Other places, I agree. Even when I was in Delhi. I came here almost 20 years back, 18 years back. That time also, you could go, but you had to expect the person will not be there mostly. Unless he was very well and you knew his routine completely. You had to get in touch. Boss, are you there? I'm coming. Here we still can drop in. This guy will not be there, the other one will be there. So I'll go and he's not there, I'll meet him. That happens.
Can you imagine this interview happening in Portugal? It won't happen.
Yeah, like I just called you this morning and you're here now.
This is the beauty of it. Huh? This is what Goa is.
Mm.
So this thing, Ryan, I'm dying to ask a question. Tell me about art, theatre. You've been involved in all this. I'm beyond theatre. What are the cultural aspects that you saw in Goa? The Kala Academy, the Mount Fest, the Mardol Festival. Have you been to any of them?
Yes, because I've done a documentary called Dancers of Goa.
Superb.
So
Please.
during that time, I traveled from north to south of Goa for a year.
Okay.
So I see. I don't know if you know, but in Goa itself, you probably have more than 50 traditional dances.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Now I've documented 13 of them.
Oh my
so,
God.
but it's not possible actually. You need more time to research all of them.
Wow. 15 traditional dance forms.
Yes, we have so many.
Oh.
So I've done only a few. I can tell you one of my favorites is Goda Modni,
Yes.
which I love.
Performed during the Shigmo mainly.
Yes.
But otherwise also in temples and fests.
Yes.
Many places. Yes.
Yeah. And I love the Fugri. There's so many others that I really love. It's so different, and how they are performed also
Of
are
course.
so different. It's
The
quite
Fogdi
interesting.
I've seen only here. I've never seen Fogdi anywhere else. That is also a fact. And again, Fogdi was performed earlier in temples more, right? By women traditionally. And they have that 2-3 kinds of Fogdi also. One is that with that tying, and one is that how they, with each other they perform.
Yes,
right?
there are different.
Okay. So
I mean, the
15 different. This is a
50.
50.
50.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I thought it was 15, and you have documented 13.
No, 13
Oh.
is what I documented, but there are so
50.
many. Yeah.
50.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
But
knew this?
I had no idea.
there are
I had absolutely no
I
idea.
didn't even
there
know
are
there were
books
13.
who talk about it and all, but I
Oh.
actually wanted to document them live, to do a video on it, because I one of the things I felt while I was doing this, I'm talking now about 2011, 2012 when I was doing this, is most of them complain that the youth are really not interested in it.
Yes,
So,
I can understand. A lot of
It's
people being attracted to, early jobs and exposed to early money in the tourism trade and others
Yes.
don't really want to spend time on these all traditional things.
So if you could actually document them in video, they could
So you did that?
remain. I did that, Dancers of Goa.
Okay.
And then I took it to Bulgaria for a film festival.
Oh, wow.
And everybody loved it. We got the audience award. And I think, because of the...
Did you showcase it out here in IFI or anything?
No, because IFI is not really open for documentaries that
Yeah.
much.
But there is a documentary section
Now this year,
I
this
think
last
they
year,
started.
yeah.
So why did the people in Bulgaria love it?
Because of the colors, no? Imagine Europe must be all dead and just blue and
Ah,
white.
black and white.
Oopsie
Oh,
daisy.
well, let's not say that. But yes,
But
it is dull.
but
It is a
but
little
just
dull.
the colorful, all the colors, the instruments, right? A lot of percussion instruments that they use in these dances, no? All of this, they were like amazed looking at it.
Yeah,
So,
it's very
Ryan, have you
fascinating.
seen a
Amazed.
Shigmo? Right.
I have a little bit.
So
Maybe-
first time
maybe
when I
online,
came
but-
down here,
I
and
haven't.
I was so amazed. I was in the Panjim Shigmo. I was like, wow, this is my, and Jose, and that beat's going on. Like you actually start to pulsate with it, and it's so alive. I don't know. You felt it. Have you ever been?
No, I haven't been
Oh,
for
you
live.
have
Yeah,
to be
it's
there.
there,
man.
it's there.
This is the roots.
It
of
goes
Goa,
into your
man.
brain.
It goes into your heart.
Heart,
Forget
brain,
the brain.
everywhere,
You're
everything.
everywhere, and
It's
you
a very,
start become one with it.
Yeah.
And
It's
if you
amazing.
love it, if you love it, you are a Goan. I think. If you don't, that will differentiate a Goan from anybody. For me, I'll tell you, this is the truth. I've told this to many of my friends.
No, but isn't Shigmo like a religious thing?
No, it is not. It is in part,
Yeah,
yes.
partly.
It is more of the harvest. The Hindu way of celebrating the harvest was the Shigmo fest. It related to not religion, but to the harvest. It is a harvest festival, right? So it was a way of celebrating it, by the traditional way of celebrating it, by the local Goan communities. And it is so live wire. It's got the drums and the camels
the
being
percussion
beaten and
instruments, I think, make
people dancing and the chants happening, the way it is done, the way people, the God Morning also happens during that time.
Yes.
So it is amazing. It is such a live wire thing that I'm surprised that a person who's connected with art and Goan has not seen it live. You should see it. You should see it.
Because from
You'll
what I heard
experience
is also they invoke certain spirits.
No,
and-
not in the Shigmo.
Okay, maybe I'm getting
Not in the
confused with
Shigmo.
something
No,
else.
that is not in the Shigmo. Are you talking of the Gade and Gade?
Probably
these
Gade,
things?
yeah.
Gade. So
Probably
that
Gade.
is a different thing. Oh, this is a different thing, but it's such a live this thing that you have to experience it. You should.
I should.
This last 2 years, I haven't been able to come to watch the Shigmo, but I haven't been there at that time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But want to be there every time I get a chance. Seriously, it is something one should experience. It's become a little mess being in Panjim, I have to park far and walk. People like me, I'm getting a little...
I'm lucky because I live in Kampal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
you
for
live in
me, it
such
becomes a
beautiful
little
place.
tough.
I can see Carnival, Shigmo, everything.
I think I'll buy a bike I've been a driver. I never liked bikes that much per se. But I think now I require to buy a bike just to see the Shikmut.
You know, Nalini lives in one of the most beautiful parts of Goa.
It is.
In Kampal.
You live in Kampal,
Yeah.
in the
So
heritage
if
sector.
I can walk, Carnival is in front of my house, Shikmo also. See how lucky I am.
You are. You're blessed.
You are?
Must have done something good.
Excellent.
You have done many things good, and thank you for sharing all your experiences and all your feelings and what you have done. Thanks for being here with us.
Yes.
I don't know. You have anything else to speak? I think there is lot, but sadly there is lack of time. So, Ryan,
Yep. So Nalini, thank you so much. Honestly, if we can watch each of your documentaries, we'll learn so much more. Are they available in English?
Yes.
They are.
I made it sure to put English subtitles in all my documentaries.
Oh. Lovely. Where can we find them?
In my, I have a website, Lotus Film Goa, and they are all there.
Excellent.
Superb.
Thank you so much. It's been such a joy having you. And thank you for this last minute invitation that you could be here
Welcome.
today. We learned so much about the culture of Goa, the differences between Portugal and Goa, the dance, the music, cantare, cantara.
Kantara.
Right? I guess it's different. But anyway, thank you so much, Nalini. It's been such a pleasure.
Yes.
We're going to be releasing this. Please share it with your friends.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thanks for coming here. Seriously. Thanks. It's been a very enriching experience just talking with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Susegaad Musings. Stay tuned for the release of the next episode of Susegaad Musings exactly in 1 week. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and any other podcasting platform. Watch us on our YouTube channel or follow us on Instagram and Facebook @Susegaad Musings. Susegaad Musings is brought to you by Amit Chopra and me myself, Ryan Lobo. I will see you in the next episode.